What's going on, you guys? I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, and I hope you all are just doing well in general. Today I'm going to be doing a beat breakdown that's slightly different from the ones that I've done in the past, and being that for this one is for, or I made it with an artist that I'm very, very proud to see succeed. His name is Anthony Ray, and with this one, the track is called God Please. It's track 3 from his EP My Testimony that I'm of course going to link to you all because it's pretty dope. It's pretty inspirational EP. So with this one, I produced the last 2 tracks, but with this one, we actually worked on it a lot together. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with it. Okay, so before going into like making the beat, Anthony had a demo recorded of the song already, and it was just simply him rapping over the sample that was used, which I'm sure you all will recognize the sample once I play it for you because it's a very, very popular song that's been sampled quite a bit. But I'm going to go ahead and play you the demo that he created, and then based off of this demo, he wanted me to add just add some more flavor to it than what it initially had, because at first it was just, again, him rapping over the sample like with no drum patterns or anything, which it sounded dope, but it could have used more flair. So I'm gonna go ahead and play you the original, like maybe 10 or 15 seconds of it.
See my brother have it all, then lose it all. Parents separated, father left without a call. See my brother used to ball, dreams was cut short, he had to quit and help his moms. Dropped the basketball, started working at the mall.
Okay, so pretty dope, right? So from here, after he asked me, I had to find the sample used. Now, I knew it sounded familiar because I heard it in, it's one of Alicia Keys' songs. I think it's called either Unbreakable, I think, or Untouchable, one of those. But the song sampled is called Intimate Friends by Eddie Kendricks. And I'm gonna try to play with the keys a little bit, some of the chops that I used. It's very, very popular one. Oh. Yeah, I think I have it in the filter right now, that's why. Alright, anyways, so I had those chops, and then I dragged them out into the step sequencer. That's what you see here, the chop 1s, chop 4s, and all that. And with the first chop in particular, I cloned it, so it sounds like I cloned it and then reversed it. So you'll hear in a minute, it's going to sound like do ding. It's going to lead into the chop 1 part right here. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you. And with the mixing wise, all I did was cut out the high ends, the low ends, because I wanted the bass to be around here. I added a phaser effect, which you'll hear is automated right here, and then some more throughout the song. What else? A filter, cutoff filter, a gross speed. I think it's 1/3 gate that I used, which you'll hear during the break later, and then some stereo enhancer. Video, you can hear the phase coming in. Then it's going to go into the chorus with different chops. Okay, I'm sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background, but anyways, so at this point, I didn't want to overdo the song because Anthony, he's preaching in the song like it's some good stuff. So I didn't want to overdo it and add a whole bunch of conflicting instruments that would have made his voice get pushed to the background, if that makes sense. So I started off with a simple drum pattern with just a kick and a snap, I believe it was, with some reverb on it. And his verse starts immediately once that like wind chime comes in, or even before then, actually. So you get the gist of that. And with this song, we wanted to have like each verse progress and lead up to the final verse over here. So with the first verse, it was very simple. Second verse, still simple, but I just added a little bit more ear candy. And with the third verse, that's when like ish hits the, well, I'm not gonna say ish hit the fan. I think that's negative, but it got hyper, kind of. But so yeah, so from the first chorus leading into the second verse, all I added was, again, some more ear candy. So my infamous rose that I like to use a lot, and this is from Lounge Lizard, the VST. Really, really good VST if you don't have it. I used the Mark Rhodes sound from it, and I just arpeggiated some notes from the C minor scale. Again, I didn't want to do too much, so. Okay, and then in this section, just added the kick, and then from the snap I added a regular trap snare. That I'm saying this in air quotes. Just a regular snare, a snare roll, and then a synth bass and an 808 and a percussion loop. So not that many sounds. This is primarily the only sounds being used aside from a couple of other instruments here and there, but the digibass is from, if I can find it, Citrus. I think I said Silent earlier. I meant Citrus. I didn't change any knobs or anything to it, so it's pretty dope. And then, yeah, so I have these notes, the bass notes corresponding to what Anthony's saying in the actual verses. So once you hear it, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm just going to stop talking and go ahead and play it for you. Wrong section of the verse, actually. You see, it's very chill. It's very relaxed. I see my man's face and it wasn't much. And we just had a talk. Things would change. I'm begging you, God, I'm singing. And then it goes into the chorus, which is, I forgot to mention this, but it's sung by Joy, who an amazing singer. So yeah, that's essentially the second verse. I didn't want to have the 808s on top of the digibass because I initially didn't mix it well and it sounded really muddy. That's why I just separated them from each other. So going into the verse 3, I just added some hi-hats to pump up the pace a little bit, and then from here into the break is where it gets pretty dope to me. So I'm going to go ahead and play it into the break, and then I'll explain how the break and then the last half of the verse went about or came about. Yeah. And again, sorry for any cracking noises if you hear any. Hey. Let's go ahead and turn the mute off. Hey. So up until this point, I had went over to his house. Now, all I had was everything up until here. All of this was pretty much done, and I had like major beat blocks, so I couldn't think of anything else to add. So what we did, and he didn't even have this section at all like written down or anything, So what I did was I put the sample back in here, which I don't know why it's right here. Hold on just a second. Okay, so I put the sample back in here and I just started messing around in Gross Beat until I eventually found the 1/3 gate, and I slapped that on there. I automated it just for this section only. I'm gonna highlight it. All right, so I'm gonna mute everything else and let you hear what we just had. Like, we were just sitting there in his living room, which shout out, nice living room, by the way. So, all right, so this is what we had. And we had this on loop for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And I'm just doodling around on my MIDI keyboard because I couldn't come up with anything that would stick. So I'm just jamming, dun 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 dun, and I'm messing around. So I opened up the Digibase from Citrus, and I started to play this. Hey. And so he was rocking with this. He's like, okay. And on the spot, he just came up with some lyrics. So again, we were both like head nodding and everything. You know how when you're like with your friends or with your homies or anything, and y'all just jamming out to some music? That's how it was. So I put everything back in here. I get discouraged sometimes, but I gotta play through these times. Hey, I just get inserted. And then gotta keep it churchy, add the organ. So that added as a nice little transition into the last section of the verse. And I muted the mute automations because it's gonna, if I turn it on, it's gonna mess with the audio recording. But in the actual song, he's doing like certain ad-libs during those mutes, if that makes sense. So it's pretty dope. But going in from the verse, or going from the break, into the last part of the verse, this was all him. Like, this little switch up that I manually added like into the program came from his mind. So I'm just gonna play it and then talk through like what went down. Oh, excuse me. Just hit my head on the mic. Then it goes back into the chorus. So again, at this point, he didn't have a verse for anything for he didn't have his verse written down for this section yet, or we didn't have this section at all, excuse me. So again, I initially just copied this and put it back over here and had it on a loop, and then he like said, you should do this, you should add so and so at this little break, and I said okay, and I just started like messing around with the chords, the progression. See if I can find it. I think this is it. Yeah, that little walk down that came off like when he like sung it out for me to do that, and I actually added it in. Man, it was crazy. And keep in mind, we did this like maybe an hour or so before we actually went to the studio to record it. So all in all, it's pretty dope. But so yeah, going from there, I think it just goes back into the chorus. Help out my friends, they skip ahead to the outro, which all I did was add a 1/2 step gate to the outro, just change it up a bit. Hey, that was pretty dope. I don't know if you heard my voice change there. But yeah, so all in all, working on the song with Ant was really a really dope, fun experience. I hope you all will like the song. I hope you all like this video. I hope you learned something, maybe. Again, it's just something slightly different, and plus I'm like stumped on ideas on what to upload. So if you have any suggestions on things you want me to do, things you want to see from me, please leave a comment down in the description. Let me know, message me, tweet me. Don't Instagram DM me because I never check that. I'm sorry. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm out.
try to help me with what I was